Hello, everyone. Welcome to TV Book Club Evangelion, where this week we are covering episodes 19 and 20. I'm your host David,
Big
and I'm
duo.
I'm joined here as always, by Josh. You
I'm not gonna do the Dead Sea Scrolls bit. I've done it too much. Let's talk about the dummy system that's been guiding me through this entire series.
so episode 19, a man's battle / introjection, which is not a word, but
Are you
whatever.
sure it's not a word? Let me look. Let me look up introduction. Hold on.
It
Let's
it
see.
Google says, oh, is it a
The
word?
unconscious adoption of ideas and attitudes of others. Wow, really says a lot about you, David.
I feel like that'd be more fitting for episode 20, but I don't know. So, uh,
Hey, this episode opens up and no one is happy.
no one is happy. Shinji's
Nope,
super pissed. He's
that's an understatement.
he there's still battery left in Unit 1 for some reason, and he threatens to destroy all of Nerve
Yep.
since
Is this
they
the he stomp on like the pyramid a lot?
uh
I forgot how he destroys it. I'm sorry.
yeah,
He is just wrecking shit though.
he is not happy.
Nope. How do you take out an angry child?
Gendo increases the LCL pressure and forces him to black out.
Yep, smother him.
It's very upsetting. So Shinji and Toji are in the hospital together.
Also, Asuka and Ray are also in the hospital because nobody
Yes,
had the good. Yeah,
but they
nobody's at a good point right now.
but according to the show, that part's less important. Um, and then in a weird moment, which again goes back to my idea from the very beginning of the show when Shinji sees Rei before he ever meets her.
Yep.
I think being in an Ava like opens up your mind, uh, kind of like psychically or whatever, because Toji basically watches Rei and Shinji talk on the train while he's still in the hospital after they were both discharged.
Yeah. The train that sometimes shows up in like weird dream sequences or visions.
Yeah. The class rep visits Toji because she cares about him, and he's sad, and he says he's sorry he couldn't have her lunches.
He also doesn't have a leg.
Oh, I didn't know he's missing a leg.
It's like reference because it's sort of just like there's one bump on one side and it's just like he doesn't have a leg on the other.
Jeez, poor Toji.
Yep. Poor Toji, never seen again.
I mean, that would make sense. We only have 6 episodes left.
Yep. Shinji is arrested.
Yes, in handcuffs, weird handcuffs. Like they almost look like power dampeners or something from a comic book.
Oh man, you don't know what the Ava has done to him. You don't know what power level he is.
Over 9,000.
No.
Okay.
But he is charged with disobedient self-possession of an Ava and using them to threaten for revenge.
And he doesn't care. He's gonna quit. And Gendo's like, "I'll probably never see you again." And Shinji's like, "Good. Fuck you."
Delete everything on Shinji. We're using the dummy plugs from now on.
Yeah. Um. So Shinji's leaving. Misato drops him off, and she's like, "I put too much pressure on you. I'm so sorry. Please don't quit." And he's like, "I have to quit." And she's like, "I understand." And then right when she drives away, an angel attacks. Uh,
Is
also,
this is the angel with just the mask and the weird body?
I mean, it kind of looks like a gingerbread man body with without the head.
Yeah.
It's the first normal looking angel we've seen in like 10 episodes.
What are you talking about? The ghostly shadow angel was great.
That is,
And the
but it didn't look
hairline.
normal.
Okay,
We're getting
normal
weird,
angel.
weird cosmic horror monsters for a while. Now we just get a regular monster.
That is more destructive than all those before it.
It's doing the cross blasts again, the crucifix blasts.
Yeah, but these ones go through like 15 layers of the
It
geofront.
was 18. You were close.
Sorry.
Yes.
He
One
starts.
blast blows through 18 layers of steel plating.
Yep.
So Asuka is sent against the Angel, and Unit
Uh,
Zero they start preparing it, even though it's missing an arm.
yep.
They
Haven't
prep.
recovered yet. It looks like they're just becoming more and more desperate. But Unit 2, did you like its island of weapons?
That's a little bit later, but yes, because they prep Rey inside Unit One, and it rejects her. So Gendo orders the dummy plug prepared, and then yeah, we see that
And
Asuka
also
just has.
fails.
Sorry, what'd you say?
No, the dummy plug also fails.
Uh, that happens after Asuka gets attacked, but yes, the dummy plug fails as well. Which makes, because if Rey was rejected, it would make sense that the other thing with her imprinted on it would also be rejected. But yeah, so we see Asuka's like, yes, island of guns. She has so many guns. It's really great.
Rocket launchers, battle axes, rifles, everything you need to take down an Ava by yourself.
But then the angel slices off Unit Two's arms with its weird ribbon sword arms.
Yep. Like
They're like,
nothing.
because they're like, they look like solid limbs when they're pointed straight down, and then all of a sudden they go all wobbly like ribbons, and they're super sharp.
And she is basically down for the count.
Well, yeah, because she charges the angel with no arms, and Misato sees this, freaks out, and she says, "Cut all of the neural connections now." So they cut the connections, and then the angel slices the Ava's head off,
Yep.
which would have done some serious psychological damage if Asuka was still connected.
Hey, what's Shinji doing right now?
Watching Kaji garden.
What is he gardening? Watermelons, because he's still a fucking creep.
Why is that make him a creep?
Watermelons. Boobs.
Japan
Go on.
likes watermelons, dude. It has nothing to do with that.
Sure. You don't see it through a pervert's eyes.
Because Enkaji's gardening because they won't let him in at Nerve during combat situations because he's a double agent.
And he seems perfectly fine with this.
Yeah, he's the person who's like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die doing what I love. Like I'm not gonna fear this.
Yeah.
He knows the end is nigh. And then Ray goes into Unit Zero and charges, which is weird because they act like they don't know what's happening, but didn't they have to prepare her and put her in there? Like,
But I think it's one of those things where I think she grabbed it on like the way up. Like
yes,
that's
they
what
were
I'm thinking is
distracted, I think, watching
yeah.
the destruction because Ray charges the Angel with a single arm and an N2 mine to try
Which
and
is has
blow
the
it up,
power of like a nuclear bomb, but without the residual effect.
and it doesn't work.
All hope is lost.
Except Shinji shows up at the last second to pilot Unit One.
And
Um,
he and it just gets destroyed.
does he get in without his plug suit?
I think he did.
Okay, because that also confuses me a little later, but I guess it also makes sense. We'll talk about it when we get to episode 20. But the Angel reaches Nerve. Like it has gone through all the armor. It's down in the Ava area, and Shinji starts fighting it down there. And as they're fighting, we just see this like I think it's when he punches the Angel, right? And the Angel bleeds, or is it the Ava that bleeds all over Gendo?
The angel bleeds all over again because I
Yeah,
think when it gets its arm cut,
yeah, this
and he just sits there
massive
like nothing's wrong.
blood splatter. Yeah, and he's just staring with his same like expression. It's so intense. Shinji drags the angel into the launch tube.
And he just yells at Misato to launch it.
Yeah, which was really smart. Like that was We don't usually see Shinji being strategic, so that was cool.
Yeah, but it's sort of just like when you're pushed against a wall. What else? Oh, I know this takes it out of here. I know that my main mission was always to make sure that an angel never reaches central dogma or like
Yeah.
gets even close to it. So
Yeah, he was quick on his feet. And he's about to destroy the angel when he runs out of power.
yep, at the worst possible moment, and then the angel's like, "Oh, I know he's down. I'm gonna rip this thing to shreds."
Yeah, it rips off one of Unit 1's arms and a ton of its armor. And we find out that Avas have central cores, like the red gems, just like the angels do.
Uh huh.
Because it exposes the core and it starts punching it. And Shinji's pleading with the Ava to wake up again. And then it does.
It goes it
It
goes into
goes
berserk mode.
berserk. Uh, and Ritsuko specifically says when it does that, she's awake. And then Unit 1 rips off one of the weird ribbon arms from the angel and uses it to reform its own arm.
Yep. Welcome to peak anime.
Peak anime. And then it does this weird sort of monkey like down on all fours walk and like
Berserk mode. It becomes beastie.
yeah,
Beast
like
mode.
like it walks like a gorilla, except where gorillas have like longer front arms and are more upright. It's more like a table,
Yep.
and then walks over to the angel and starts eating it.
Yep. Like a rabid dog.
It's
Favorite part about Gendo is, it's the restraints are off.
there's yeah, we find that out in episode. So that's most of our discussion will be about episode 20 because it's about the after effects and stuff. So let's just get right into it. So episode 20 of the shape of hearts and humans slash weaving a story to colon oral stage.
Yep.
And reminder, weaving a story one was the second name for the clip show episode. So so yeah, so the angel is, and this episode starts with a recap,
Yep.
which is unusual.
They need to remind you about some S2 stuff and also
Yeah, so we find out that the angel or the Ava when the Ava ate the angel, it absorbed the angel's S2 drive, showing that they're not like they may have manufactured ones, but they made it from angel parts. Like
yeah, all of those, what do you do with all those dead angels around your city? What
you
make
try to
stuff?
turn them into weapons and equipment and shit.
Yep.
I mean, that's a plot of like most sci-fi first encounter stuff.
Yeah. Uh
Um, so
how did you
Sele
like
is not
eh,
happy with Gendo.
well, no, of course not, because they know Sele lets Gendo do like we all know that Gendo has a plan, but Sele lets Gendo do his plan, but at certain points we're like, Gendo, why?
Yes. And because they you weren't supposed to integrate the S2 drive with an Ava because it was too dangerous. And
Mm-hmm.
it's these episodes where I started figuring out I it's who's in the circle of trust, who knows what's really going on, and it seems like more people than I originally thought.
Yep, and there are more people on the outside than you originally thought as well.
Yes, um,
Like most of the pilots are out of the loop.
Misato's been out of the
Misato's
loop. She's now being informed by
Kaji
yeah.
Kaji is in the loop, but is not necessarily supposed to be in on the loop, but they know
Kachi's
that he's in.
yeah. Kaji's not supposed to be in on the loop, but since he was sent there to spy, they were like, okay, we'll let you in the loop, but you're not allowed to be here during delicate situations, so you have to fuck off.
Yeah,
Um,
but I
so
think the major crux of this episode is where's Shinji?
yeah. Well, so the nerve command center is pretty much destroyed. They talk about how they have to use the backup command center, which is like they just and they talk about how it just has like a even though it's like a copy of it, it just has like a creepy vibe to it.
It also has shittier seats.
Yes.
That's my favorite point that I always make with this episode of, oh,
stiff
this one
stiff
has bad
chairs,
seats.
stiff uncomfortable chairs. Uh,
But let's talk about Shinji.
can we talk about Unit 1 first? Because it's all
Sure.
bandaged up and looks
It's
super fucking creepy.
You don't like a really bandaged smile from a really creepy biomech
Do you watch
with belly?
uh My Hero Academia?
Yes.
It reminds me of the serial killer villain.
Oh yeah, stained.
Yeah, Stained. It's not like a super. I mean, I don't know if this one is one of the first like popular animes that did. It's not like a super original design. The bandaged face. It's very creepy. It's just weird to see it with a mech. They're We saw
Yeah,
in what was it,
it's very
episode
off-putting.
2, the Ava's eye,
Yep.
but they tend to like it felt like they were keeping all that secret. It's not a secret anymore.
It's a
Everyone
biomech
knows.
with
People know shit now.
yeah.
So yeah,
And the core is still exposed for some weird reason.
yes. Well, they're still repairing it.
Yep.
This is like immediately after the last episode, so like no time has passed yet. Um, so yeah, we also find out that Shinji is lost inside Unit 1. He was absorbed into the LCL. He lost his intrinsic field, basically.
Yep, he lost the connective tissue that is around his body to keep it whole.
Except he's not going to reform with amazing powers like Dr. Manhattan.
No.
They just want him to come
No, he's
back.
not. They need him to come back.
So, and then they specifically mention that Shinji's ego, and I don't mean like the self-centered part of your personality, but literally like the psychology concept of the ego is the only thing keeping his physical form together, except it's not keeping his body together. It's just display, like the only thing you can see is an empty plug suit, which is really creepy looking, especially when you consider the fact that Shinji wasn't in a plug suit.
The Ava made one for him.
The
Let's not do this.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just part of his
Like,
mind because he was in the Ava, so that's like part of being in an Ava.
yeah.
Or maybe yeah, it might be just a continuity error, but who cares? It's not important. It's creepy. It's a creepy visual, and it really works. It's just a plug
It's a,
suit floating in the entry plug.
and they're actually trying to rescue him. It's not this is like the contrast with episode 16, in which is just like, yeah, no, Shinji's gone, get the back, but this time Shinji is gone and they're actually trying to bring him back.
But Ritsuko and Masato discuss this. It's not that they care about Shinji. It's that Unit 1 is the only still somewhat functional Evangelion. The other ones have like had huge chunks ripped off and are like borderline destroyed. And Unit 1 now rejected every other pilot, so they need Shinji.
Yep.
We also
Shinji in the world of economics he calls on shots.
And we also find out this has happened before when they were testing the Evangelions.
With who, David?
So they don't say that, but they hint at
With
it.
who?
And I'm still not confident because I'll mention that, but or I guess I'll talk about that in just a second. But yeah, and so a pilot has been absorbed before, but the recovery totally failed. So this is also where I've determined that yes, Shinji's mom is definitely somewhat part of Unit 1. I'm not sure if she was a pilot that was absorbed and was never recovered, or if the Evangelions are like human. If it's a if it's a Bionic Commando wife arm situation where they're half
Or
human, half or half angel.
or are like, is it the core of it? Is the core of an Ava an actual human being? And what is it? What part? What's going on here?
I don't feel like Shinji's mom was absorbed and they just couldn't get her out, because I feel like Evangelion would go for the more horrific thing, which is that Gendo murdered his wife to make Unit 1.
You know, we'll figure that out soon enough.
Yeah, so I mean, you're hinting at it like she was absorbed, but I really think they're going to go with the murder route.
And sometimes you just don't want to leave.
Yeah, so a good chunk of this episode, and I don't have a lot of notes from it because it's more we can just kind of talk about how we felt about it. But a good chunk of this episode is Shinji hallucinating, um, in the void, I guess.
Yep.
While he's they also mention that his body's not in the entry plug, but the LCL is they like quote unquote contaminated, uh, and basically all of the physical components that make up his body are in liquid form, and they say basically the LCL plug has taken on the chemical characteristics of the primordial soup that life came out of at the dawn of time on Earth,
Yep.
which is
What? And
gross.
they funny thing, they never explain what LCL is. I'm just gonna tell you right now, they will never explain what it is.
Didn't they say what it stood for once?
Yeah, but they don't explain like what it does.
I mean, I
It,
just assumed it's just like a way to interface better.
all right. Um, yeah, the void is one of my favorite parts of this episode because it's just so he basically just goes through like 2001 or what I prefer, which is he goes through spaceship Earth and he just goes through time basically.
Spaceship Earth.
I love spaceship Earth.
I love Spaceship Earth too, but it's much more 2001 Star Child hallucination than fucking a start to finish voyage through communication through human history is not what
I
happened here.
tomato tomato. I say potato. But
But I love the
the
reference.
the animation is just also really on point this time.
It just moves so fast, which also explains why the end of this episode is basically a still shot.
Got no, well, yeah, I gotta save that animation money.
Yeah, because they spent it all here. The hallucination is really good. Is basically Shinji like trying to come to terms with he's upset. He had to fight this angel. He came back because he knew like basically the world would be destroyed if he didn't. I
Yep,
assume that's
and
what he thinks. I don't know. I don't actually know what would happen if the angel rescue Adam or what. They say the third impact. Didn't we figure out that the second impact was caused because humans were fucking with stuff?
yep.
Wasn't Yeah, it was our fault. So would a third impact be
The first
caused?
impact is how like so the first impact is I don't it's kind of like mildly referenced of that's how like the world began.
Oh, that was a big bang. I didn't even realize that. I don't.
Yeah, and then like the second impact is humans messing with stuff.
So yeah, they say the third impact it'll cause the third impact, but I don't know. We get more about what the Dead Sea Scrolls foretold in the next 6 episodes, right? No. Okay, no. That's a
No,
no.
no. Um,
Things
what
are still
else
going
happened?
according to plan, right?
Yes, everything is still going according to plan.
So
Um,
like, then we get the super creepy repeating scene of Misato, Asuka, and Ray. Um, they're naked but without any sexual features, which is appreciated because anime of this era did that, and but that was not the point of this. But they're like, it's like a like torso, and then they lean in just so it's their face, and they just keep Shinji, do you want to become one in body and soul?
this is very much like psychology 101 stuff, and it annoys the living daylights out of me. Uh, I yeah, anyway, the
Though
rest
it's
of that I'm
almost like yeah, because then there's parts like is it Shinji's repressed feelings for the women around him? Is it also the Ava speaking to him about staying in this state?
it's
There's a
I
lot
think
of
it's
dual
better.
meanings in this hallucination sequence.
Yeah, but it also referenced the last time in which the last time he was stuck in the Ava, he had to talk with the Ava or himself.
Hmm.
It's in the same vein.
When he was in the Shadow Realm.
Yes, the shadow
The
Freud realm.
it's the shadow.
The Shadow Freud.
Yes.
Shadow Freud has come to battle.
And so they started putting the armor back on the Ava because we see it. Um, we see the recovery efforts. They're talking about plugging in probes, and then you just see the Ava with like all of these, um, like needles,
Yep.
sticking out. It's really creepy looking.
They're trying to nerve it up, man.
And the recovery starts to go wrong, and we hear Ritsuko say specifically, "It's like he doesn't want to come back."
Weird. Why wouldn't he want to come back?
So after the sexualized sequence, we also start flashing between the three of them again in a less sexual way, but then we start seeing a fourth person, um, which is Shinji's mom, except her face is scrawled out because he doesn't remember it.
Nope, he does not.
And then
But
the LCL ejects from the entry plug all on its own.
yep. And guess who's there?
Well, first, no one, and everyone's horrified, and Misato's crying. Um, but then Shinji pops out naked.
Yep. And he just says, "Hi, I missed you." Basically.
Yes. Oh, we should mention this hallucination started with the they don't it's not the welcome back thing because I do know that from memes,
Mm-hmm.
but something very similar to it of just like a phone call and people like saying hello Shinji.
Yeah.
So then we see Kaji and Misato are having sex.
Oh, who knew?
Yes.
And it's all
Thank
just one weird angle.
I really appreciate that they didn't show it like they didn't cuz it's 90s anime. It was super pervy. Especially when it's like made just for adults like Evangelion is because it's how violent and stuff it is. Like but they don't show that. You just see it's not even an angle. It's a still shot for up until like the last 2 seconds of just like like a dresser, the top of a dresser with a like half finished beer and like some other stuff sitting on it and you just hear the two of them talking and
Mm-hmm.
Misato's asking like, why are we keeping Adam here? Um
She's asking too delicate questions when she knows she's under surveillance.
yes. And Kaji's like, "Do you just have sex with me so you can ask me these things?" And she's like, "That's part of it. Like, if I'm being honest,
I need the info.
I need the info." I mean, she also does care about him and wants to have sex with him, but she also wants this information.
It's a win-win for her.
So this episode ends with him saying, "I have a present for you. It'll be the last one I give you." And he sets a pill down. Like that's the only animation of the scene is we see a hand set a pill down. What's the pill, Josh?
Yep.
What's the pill?
What's in the pill? What's
Is,
in the pill?
is it the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know what's in the pill, David. I honestly don't remember. What's in the pill?
I don't know, Josh.
You know what? You're probably not going to figure it out for a while, so it's okay.
What is life, if ever?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't need to know all the answers. This
So,
is maybe one of those times. I don't know.
so I also have to say, 2 episodes ago, Josh incorrectly told me that Evangelion should have ended with episode 16, which
I would like to correctly say the episode should have ended with this one.
so
The
not the
series should.
episode that
The
ends
series.
where we see the episode ends with the visual of Adam crucified on that cross, but this one.
Yep. This is where I believe we'll come back to this in like 6 episodes, but this is what I believe should have been the end of the series in a way.
You could have ended it at 16 too, though. I
But
think.
I think I think you needed that Toji stuff, to be honest with you.
Ah,
You're almost there.
the Toji stuff was super depressing.
Yes.
But yeah, I can also agree it could have ended here. Like I don't feel like we necessarily. I guess the Shinji's mom stuff is important. You wouldn't have gotten any of that.
Yeah.
So
But I think this really pops it together.
so it's about to get fucked, is what you're telling me.
No, no, yes,
Okay, so I have
yes,
to change my note for episode 26. So we'll go over why it should have ended
yeah,
this time in 3 episodes.
yep,
But holy fuck, Josh.
yep,
This is
yeah.
it
This is where things start to come to a head.
I just we're in such a these last 6 episodes are going to be so tense too cuz
Yes, they
Shinji's
are.
pissed.
Shinji's pissed. Does he have any power? What is an Ava? What are we doing? What is everything going on?
Why? Why?
Why?
Why?
Why? Why even try?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you're
Evangelion
almost there.
folks. Um I'm still not sure where we're going. Sort of. Uh we don't
I
get a
hope
lot
you
of
did. You take
what?
Did you take psychology in high school?
Yeah, I took a little.
Okay, you'll be fine for these next couple of episodes.
Good. Well, also, you know, my fiance is studying psychology. Are you telling me I should make her watch the last 6 episodes of Evangelion with me to explain the psychological concepts to me?
Yes,
Josh says you
yes,
have to
yes. You should.
watch this to explain things to me. She laughed.
Well, I think it would help in these last couple episodes because this, yeah, it would help.
Yeah, it's gonna get real interesting. Ray's gonna melt at some point.
Things are gonna fall apart real hard, David.
Yes. So yes, we'll be back next time with episodes 21 and 22. We are in the home stretch. It can only, it will only get more fucked up from here.
It's
So,
only downhill for here.
yay.